Welcome to Drawing People, day number 4. To quote Bob Ross, talent is a pursued interest, meaning anything you practice, you can do. So we got some great information for you today and some new shapes and exercises to help you along your journey. This is where it gets a little interesting. So what I did is I underlaid an accurate skeleton, and I also put in a body outline. So let's take our basic figure down along with the egg, and let's look at a few interesting things. So not only is the male head larger, it is also a different shape. I found it fascinating that the typical male hat size is a large, or a typical female hat size is a medium. And you can see that the rib cage is thinner. You know, like when we do that egg, we're going to do a thinner shape for that. Now, if you can see this, let's turn the skeleton down and let's zoom in. And let's actually turn off the block figure and the egg, because the female pelvis is wider is why you get the more curvature there, but you also get this shape here, which is, see how it comes in here and you get that little bump around the knee. That's because the angle is coming in more pronounced, and you're getting, so when you're drawing that simple female leg shape, it goes smooth on the outside, okay, and you get that little bit of a bump. Now you also, because the pelvis is wider in female shapes, you also get this little detail there where it kind of, curves out just a little bit. And that's because the female pelvis is basically a heart shape. So you can add this to your shape library for guidelines. It has a piece down here, but it's basically a heart shape. So you get this effect there. All right, well, it's time to look at drawing the back of these figures. We have two simplified mannequins, very similar to what we drew on the front side, but I want to show you this shape here. This simplified starfish shape forms the trapezius muscles, and it goes into kind of the spine here. Now, to construct the back, it's very similar to drawing the front. You put your spline in for symmetry. You would draw your egg. Now remember, my style of drawing an egg is I tend to have it slightly larger than maybe some drawing books, but because I intersect where the collarbones, in this case the bones on the back side, intersect that egg. I don't put the arc for the rib cage in, but instead we put this guy in, and maybe it's easier to show that as an outline. Because we're forming it off of, just like we did on the front, we're forming it off of the neck, right? So that's how we know how to get the top part. And on a male figure, the trapezius muscles are a little more angular and formed. So you just come down and almost make a star shape to get that basic guideline of a shape. And then we were saying that the woman's pelvis is like a heart, And it comes in like so. And even though there's other bones and details, you know, they won't show in a typical figure drawing. But when we're looking at the male, it starts off like the heart shape, but it kind of goes more like a tooth because it squares off at the bottom if you're looking at it from simplified. But in both cases, the hip is drawn in two parts because it comes around at heart shape and then continues on. You get that little bump as we talked about on the front. So from there, it becomes pretty easy. Let's take this down. Let's just put a new layer in, because we learned some great shapes in the past few sessions, right? We know that for the typical female shape, I think I'm going to strengthen up this so we can see a little better. A little wispy. We know that we're coming in with the hourglass. That's formed just like it is on the front, right? We know it intersects here. So we know that on the male shape, it's more angular and does something like that, or if we want to cut it off at the top, something like that. And if we just put in a bottom triangle to the hips, we then know where our shoulder muscles go. Cuts in just like it did with the pectorals. It just slightly overlaps the shoulder blade. And we can draw the back of the cranium. And the woman's head is a little bit smaller in most cases. And on the back of the cranium, it's more of a circle because let's zoom in here for a second. The jawline is visible from the back of the neck. Get used to drawing this simplified mannequin. And if you have any comments, questions, love to hear about it. Please hit the subscribe if you like these. I really think that this is a great foundational way in bits to learn how to draw the human figure accurately. So